It's time for the Bionicle review for the Gamecube. Now, I didn't really play with Legos growing up, let alone Bionicles. My brother did, however, and that's where he got his name. I just never had an interest in this stuff, so going into this game, I didn't really have any kind of expectation. Now, if you're like me, where you don't know anything about this universe, that can be a bit of a problem, because you have to be a fan of Bionicles to understand most of what's going on in the game. It's definitely geared towards kids who know what the characters are talking about. The game is a third-person action-adventure with 7 levels total. Each one has an elemental theme: fire, water, earth, you get the idea. In each level, you'll control one of 6 Toas associated with the theme of the level. It sounds cool, as each Toa has the power over a specific element, so you'd think you get to pull off some cool fire, or ice, or wind attacks, but alas, it's just not so. Each Toa controls the same, with the same attacks. The attacks aren't even elemental based. All you get to do is shoot projectiles from your melee weapons. Your weapons might as well be guns because you can't use them for actual melee combat. The only difference in character control is with the water Toa, you can swim underwater, and with the air Toa, you can glide for a few seconds. These differences were appreciated to break up the monotony, but it's not enough to pull your mind away from the static drab of lackluster vanilla gameplay. Each level has you progressing from point A to B, all the while fending off enemies which are more annoying than threatening, picking up dozens of orbs, and once in a while solving easy puzzles. Now, I know the game is meant for kids, but I don't see how anyone who's not a fan, or at least indifferent to this universe, can find enough enjoyment to venture through all it has to offer, which isn't much. Luckily, some levels change things up. In one level, you're riding on a minecart trying to unlock a handful of locks while avoiding obstacles, and in another, you're racing down a mountain via snowboard trying to beat a foe from reaching a village first. The majority of levels, though, have you on foot with simple objectives to complete. The whole game will take you just a couple hours to complete. That said, it would probably take you even less time if it weren't for the camera and some of the mechanics in general. The camera can be controlled by the right shoulder button and also the C-stick. The problem is that the auto camera fights with you a lot. Many times I'll be in situations where the camera wants to show me a specific angle of where to go next, but wanting to adjust it to your preference can be more of a challenge than the main objective in the level. A handful of times I came across situations, especially in this wind level, where I needed to jump quickly or else I'd fall to my death, but my character wouldn't respond when I needed him to. Other times he would glide over too far a distance. When you try to get him to stop gliding, he'll continue for like half a second, then he'd stop, which would make me overshoot my landing spot. Also, this stupid bird part was such a pain. You're supposed to follow him, but his turns are so fast without warning, and staying within the width of updrafts can be very difficult. This part only lasts about 10 to 15 seconds, but it seriously took me around 30 attempts to finally reach the end. The graphics are nothing special. It doesn't look bad for Gamecube, but it really could have used a touch-up or two. The few boss battles that it has are just like the enemies you find in each level, more annoying than challenging. Predictable patterns are easy to memorize, and defeating them just makes you glad you know you're getting near the end of the game. There's no reward for beating them other than the fact you can progress further in the story. The sound design and audio mixing in general were in serious need of polishing. Almost every song and sound effect sounded muted, and many times the music would just stop, and then like 30 seconds later it would start up again. Some of the cutscenes didn't have any sound effects where it really needed them. The voice acting was okay. Can't really judge it harshly, as the core demographic watching it won't care. All I'll say is it's fine for kids. The orbs you find in the levels will allow you to unlock bonus content, if you care enough to do so. With such potential the world of Bionicle can offer for a video game, this one just fell short of being good. It's not a terrible game, but one that feels unfinished. It doesn't feel rushed, as it doesn't really have bugs, but so much more could have been done with it to give players a more fun experience. Only if you're a true fan of this world will you maybe want to play this. For everyone else, you're not missing out on anything. This game gets a 2 out of 5 with the title of Core. Gotta snag 'em all, gotta snag 'em. Wait. No, it's catch 'em all. Why am I thinking snag?